What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're changing the oil. That's why you clicked on the video in the first place, so let's get to it. You're gonna need 10W30. I couldn't find T6 anywhere. It's back ordered everywhere. I was able to find T5. I had to go to like 3 different AutoZone stores to get enough for the truck. You're gonna need 4 of these. And then I got the Motocraft oil filter from Ford. Here's a part number if you want it. And without further ado, let's break into this thing and start draining some oil. All right, first thing first, let's pop the hood on this thing so we can open the fill cap so we can get some more flowage out of this thing so we're not sitting here all day. Pop that thing up. Your fill cap is right here, so we'll take that off. Let that, you can just kind of let it sit like that. It doesn't need to be all the way out. That'll just help it drain a little bit faster. So once you got your cap off, I like to get underneath the truck. If you have a 5-gallon bucket, this is gonna make your life a whole lot easier. You can put the 5-gallon bucket right next to the drain bolt. And this is your drain bolt right here, right on the bottom of your oil pan. I like using this because it's close to the drain bolt. So like, whereas if you had the flat one down here, it's just a long way for the oil to fall and you just splash everywhere. So this way you can kind of like offset it to where it's like towards the back, just in front of the drain bolt, and it will kind of shoot out towards the back. You might have to like pick it up at the beginning just so you don't shoot it all over your driveway. But once it starts draining, it'll drain into your bucket and you won't have to worry about it overfilling. So this is a lifesaver. So here's a bolt I was telling you about. It is a 16 millimeter. So we'll go ahead and take this bolt off. I'll probably loosen it with this, that way I can slide the bucket underneath and I'll just pull it out with my hand.
Here we go.
Alright, now would be a great time for me to tell you to put gloves on, because that oil's hotter than Satan's you-know-what. So definitely advise you wearing gloves. But the bucket works great. I only got a couple drops, so let's wait for this to drain and I'll show you how much is in here. This is also a great time for me to tell you, like this video please, helps out the channel with the algorithm, and then subscribe to the channel please, because it helps me out as we grow. So thank you, I appreciate it. Also, this is ridiculously hot. Don't hold it as long as I have. Alright, so your drain bolt's gonna have a little O-ring that sits inside of it, so just make sure you have some oil on that for when you put it back on. And then now that we're done draining, we'll go ahead and put this back in, move the bucket over so we can take out the filter. Now we got our drain bolt installed. You come on over to the right side of the vehicle, and here is your oil filter. So in relation to the bolt, here's the bolt, here's your filter. So for this one, you're not gonna be able to fit the bucket underneath it because it sits too low, so just get a normal like drain pan, and then the jaws of life, which are right here. That's why I call them jaws of life, right? Or more commonly known as oil filter pliers. And then we'll get these on here and rip this bad boy off and then let it drain out. All right, now we got our normal drain pan. You go ahead and get your pliers on this bad boy Try and break it loose. Keyword try. There we go. I would advise being careful because you don't want to get this in your eyes, and it's probably gonna drain all down your arm. So proceed with caution. If you don't have a glove on, I'd put one on because it's gonna be hot. I'm gonna just let that drain first because I can't get that off fast enough. All right, so there's a bunch of oil in here. I'm tired of waiting, so I'm just gonna pull it off. And I hope I don't make a big old mess. Ew. Ah, that was awesome. I love that. That was the greatest part of my day. Holy. Right on my face. Remember when I was like, you know what, you should probably wear goggles, and then I wasn't wearing goggles or glasses? You should wear glasses. I recommend it. Cool, now that that's done leaking all over my face, we're gonna take our Motocraft, boom. What is this? Part number FL-2051S. This big old behemoth. Looks like a suppressor. And then we're gonna grab some of this oil that's fallen. I know someone's gonna yell at me, you're not supposed to use dirty oil. Whatever, dude, you're not gonna get all the oil out of the engine anyway. You'll be sitting here forever, so. This will work, yeah. And then if you feel a little frisky, get up here and wipe this down a little bit. All right, and then we'll grab our oil filter, spin this sucker on. All right, so it touched. So once it touches, let me see what the box says. Let's confirm this. 3/4 to 1 full turn once it touches. So it touched, and we're looking at, let's see, the Ford symbol. So let's spin. That'd be a half turn. I need a new towel because that one is hella dirty. All right, there you go. 3/4 of a turn. You don't need to smoke it on there. I mean, smoke it on with your hand. Don't use the wrench, because as soon as you turn your engine on and it starts pumping oil through this, it's gonna suck it up anyway. So it will get tight. So that's tight. Our drain plug's tight. Now let's get all this out of from underneath our truck, and we'll fill it up. One thing I didn't think about is if your truck isn't leveled, or at least on bigger size tires, getting that bucket out is gonna be a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna try and get it out through the back underneath this brace, and then hopefully it comes out. Otherwise I'm gonna have to figure out how to drain that bucket. So stay tuned. So whereas before I went under the radius arms, you go to the back and go underneath this cross beam, and it'll slide underneath without you having to kind of put the bucket at an angle. This is why using the 5-gallon bucket is nice, because we are about up to here with oil, so you don't have to worry about it overfilling. You still have a good, probably like, I don't know, 8 inches. So just for your convenience, this makes your life a hell of a lot easier than trying to put it in like one of these little oil pans or whatever. So just so you know. Now we're gonna come back in the garage, and we're gonna hope that I put my filter back where it normally goes. Voila! Look at that. Make sure you put a towel in it so you don't get all kinds of crap in it. So we'll take this, put it in the truck, and we'll start dumping oil in this thing. So this truck takes 13 quarts. So you're gonna need 3 of these and then 1 little one. In my case, I just bought 4 big ones because I'll just save it for the next time. And they're having a sale on these anyway. So we'll go ahead and crack this open and start pouring this in here. I'm using 10W30 because I don't do any severe towing right now. Just so you know I'm not full of shit. Here's your cap. So your cap says 10W30 or severe duty, use 5W40. So we're not pulling anything more than like 12,000 pounds right now, and maybe once a month I'm doing that, so this will be just fine. So for the sake of me not having to drain oil out of this thing, I elected to not put that other little bit in. So I just did 3 1-gallon jugs and then started it. 1 quart isn't really gonna hurt it if it's just idling. So we got the oil into the oil filter. Now we'll check our dipstick. We've had enough time for it to settle. So pull it out, wipe it off, and then we'll put it in and we'll check it, see where we're at. All the way in. And we are low, so we'll go ahead and put that extra little bit in and see what we come up with. The one thing I like to do is dump the oil into the drain pan so you can pour it back into the containers, and then you can just take these to AutoZone and they'll get rid of it for you. That way it's not sitting on the side of your house looking like garbage. So if you're part of an HOA, you can thank me later. Alright, just so everyone knows, at the time of purchase, this was $111.96 from O'Reilly's to buy 4 gallons of oil for a 2022 Ford F250 diesel, or whatever you're putting the oil into, any diesel really, for 10W30. But that's how much it costs to change oil on one of these things. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope it was informative for you. Hopefully you were able to do an oil change on your own, and maybe I saved you some money. But thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your time. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.